Avery Eichrath from St.Mary's Knanaya Catholic Church in Houston, and today during this Lent season, I would like to tell you a story. So there was once a boy named John who's a student at a high school. One Friday evening after class had ended, John was walking home, holding all his books in his hand. A group of boys from his school were walking behind him and pushed him. They laughed at him when he fell, and all of John's books fell out of his hands and dropped onto the floor. The boys who pushed John ran away, and another boy who was nearby saw the bullies push him and came and helped John pick up his books. The boy that helped John pick up his books' name was David. David felt very bad for John, and he asked John where he lived. It turned out they lived near each other, so David invited John to play basketball with him that evening, and John agreed. That evening, they played basketball together, and David told all of his other friends to play basketball with them, and they were all friendly and kind. John and David became very good friends, and they graduated high school together. John went to medical school and graduated from there as a valedictorian. At his medical school graduation, John gave a speech about his life in high school and what he went through. John talked about how his father had passed away when he was very young, and his mother worked 2 jobs to support them both, since she was barely at home. He would spend most of his free time studying, and other kids would bully him for that. He was feeling depressed and led a really lonely life, and he thought that nobody cared for him. He explained that Friday evening, he emptied out his books from his locker and all of his other things because he was planning on committing suicide that night. But when David came to help John when he got pushed by the bullies, meant that David actually cared for John. He realized there were people in this world that cared for him. David changed his life that evening. The moral of the story is to always be kind and loving to others like Jesus taught us, because you never know what they're struggling with. Kindness can change someone's life. In the Bible, it says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. Thank you for listening to this story, and have a good Easter.